Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411 for our first fan spotlight in almost 2 years, and did not realize that.
It's so insane. Like, I missed talking to our friends, but I did not realize it has been 2 years almost.
I didn't either. I mean, there was a time where we were doing this once a month, and then the show just kind of gave us a lot to research. We came up with it that we had started doing Bobby. And then we wound up doing Lucky for a year. So in the meantime, Melanie had reached out and offered to tell the story of Blackie and Lou. We forgot to even talk about her origin story, about like what got you hooked into GH. So we're going to have to talk to her again. But we had been asking for fans, like if there's a story that is important to you, you know, it's one of your, I feel like this was kind of her origin story because of how she shared it. But write your own 411. This was great.
It was amazing.
So this is actually a 2-part episode. The first part is our fan spotlight. There's going to be a little bit of a break in between, and then we're going to bring in some of the conversation we had after she told us the story of Blackie and Lou. However, you're not going to get that part until next week. So, but you'll hear the after conversation. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be able to splice that in, and it's not going to give anything away, right?
I think you'll be good.
Okay, I'll listen to it and we'll see. But yeah, so we hope that you enjoy our chat with Melanie.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Yay.
Audio, video?
Yep, all good.
Love it when it works the first time.
Yes. Yes. Oh, we are so excited to talk to you today. We were just going over, we haven't done a fan spotlight since December of 23.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a good portion of that is because we did a year on Lucky, but
yes.
What was our excuse for the 8 months before that? I don't know. Oh, you know why? Because we were doing Bobby.
Yeah.
We were. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, yeah. Oh, we are so excited.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's nice. Like I said, I don't have a lot of other fans in my life, so it's always nice to chat GH with other people who are into it and have a lot of opinions.
That's kind of why we started the show, because we were like, there has to be other people out there that are having these crazy conversations and that can understand, well, no, he's not dead now.
I mean, he was, and then he wasn't. Now he might be. Yes, exactly.
And then the twin brother is actually him. It was the other guy that is actually the one we don't know about.
I think I'm pretty good. I know the 3 rules, right? No spoilers. Which I am not spoiler averse per se. I don't go looking for them, but I'm not somebody who freaks out if they find their way in my feed. I'm not a ship war person. Like I'm never going to be like, I have opinions, but I'm not someone who gets too wrapped up. And then the swearing, I'm on a mission. My husband and I are both on a personal mission to cut back on the cussing. So no promises, but I promise I'll do my best.
I can beep too. So it's okay. I've had to do that a couple times, but the main reason for the no swearing is because we do. Well, no, it wasn't. It's because we would have to mark it as explicit.
No, but I mean, the beeps were always mean.
Oh, well, yeah. You are how I learned how to beep. So
there you go. It's ironic too, because I even though I work like a corporate type job, I work for a multinational company that's actually based out of Australia, and the F word is used like we would say crap in Australia, apparently. So yeah, it's like very typical and like a corporate presentation for like the president to drop the F-bomb. And it's just, yeah. So when your corporate world makes swearing so like acceptable, it's hard to tame your tongue in your personal life.
Right. And like, I don't get mad I get upset when people email us spoilers. Like I get bummed when I see them in my feed. When you intentionally send me one, I'm not happy about that because that's not nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did think it was interesting when we talked to James and he was like, oh, but it's been confirmed. And I'm like, but it hasn't happened on screen.
Right.
Oh yeah. So how do you draw the line, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to say what is the spoiler, especially in Soapland, right?
Right.
Where they're filming so far out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was not going to miss Jonathan Jackson coming back because he posted it on his own Instagram. I was
Well,
like, all right,
exactly. Yeah.
you know,
That was everywhere. There was
right.
absolutely no missing it. And it was so exciting because, like you, I am very much a Lucky fan. Like, he's
Yeah.
one of my favorite characters. And like you guys talked about many times, I also appreciate why he decided to step away or that it just wasn't right for him personally. But what a disappointment story wise, because it felt like they were just taking off with him and like so many places to go, so many relationships to explore. Like they barely touched the surface with him and Laura. They had so little time together. I would have loved to see him and Aiden flourish in a relationship. Like, yeah. Even with Lulu, they didn't spend much time together.
Yeah, because the kind of the same thing happened too. We have not really had a very good, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just like off the top of my head, I'm thinking we haven't had a really good parent relationship that with the acceptance of and the blossoming of the relationship after their child comes out, because Tony died right after he found out about Lucas.
Right.
And I mean, Bobby did struggle a little bit, but more on the I'm worried about you being accepted, not her accepting. And I don't think Tony didn't accept him either. And Lucky didn't not accept Aiden either. I mean, first thing he said was, my love is endless. Like that's it. But we've never seen, why do we have to die and leave? Let's support our kids.
I know. And I think it was on a very recent episode. One of you made the comment about keep more like talk on the background of characters. Like if they're not on the canvas, like mention them, mention the Skypes. Like it's not that big to bring them in. Like, I mean, and can we, like, speaking of, where's like the milk carton for TJ? Like, where is TJ? Like,
he just left.
But exactly, like just talk about him if he's not on the show anymore. Like I hate when characters essentially do an Irish goodbye off the show. That frustrates me so much. Just because then I'm always wondering what happened. Did I miss it? Did I miss something? Like where did they go?
But especially where it was such an emotional reason why he left. Like he and Molly, like they came to a point in their relationship that they couldn't agree on what the future was. Right. Jordan should be saying, TJ's settling in okay. He found a nice group of friends out there. He's playing cards with them every Friday or something. Something. Yeah.
Exactly. Or when Marshall stops in to say, oh, I saw TJ. Like, just mention them.
Yeah.
Mention them. Jake's in art school. You can mention it once in a while, Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. And it was interesting doing some of the research for Blackie and Lou. You can see the difference in the soap world, like from the cast. Basically, you can tell the difference in the money, I think, from back in the 80s when there must have been like 30 regular castmates, like cast members who were on all the time. And then also I'd forgotten about like the cast of characters that were in the background that were like the secondary players that would come out once in a blue moon, like the waterfront crew, or that would be in the background at the diner. And we just don't have as many players anymore, which is a little sad, but understandable. I mean, I'd rather have a few characters than no characters.
Yes.
But you can kind of feel that. It's like a shrinkage almost of Port Charles and the community. Like there's just less people in town.
I feel that way too, but we always hear other people saying that there's so many cast members, and there is, but I agree. Like, I don't feel like there's too many. And we talked about the money difference back when we were doing the thing about Karen, because they were playing Prince as she was on stage. Like they had Prince money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I assume that's the only reason why, Hulu isn't streaming from the beginning is because they can't afford to pay the music rights. And probably it's too much work to pull it all out. Although, God, I wish they would.
Yeah.
I would watch storylines.
I mean, that's because we talked about that too. Like, how long does the purchase of the music rights last? Is it in perpetuity or is it? But also, they have to pay residuals then to possibly estates or to, because it's not supposed to be a rerun. And when they made those contracts back in the 60s, this was not going to be a rerun show. It was never going to air again. What are you talking about? You can't show the same show again. And now,
exactly.
It's the same thing as actors are having right now, the struggle with AI. Like when they did their contracts, they could not have fathomed that this was going to be an issue and that potentially a studio was going to steal their identity.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it
really doesn't. But it's a bit of a shame. It's just different.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I look at Amanda because she needs to start talking.
I'm enjoying listening, and that's why I yell at you. I am good listening. I'm enjoying the conversation.
What I have a question for you guys with the podcast. Have you found your watching habits change? Like, do you watch now with the mindset of, oh, I can't wait to talk about this on the podcast?
Yeah, because we don't talk about it during the week. And that was, I feel like at the beginning, it's easier now, but it was definitely more difficult at the beginning because she would watch at night. I might watch the next morning or wherever we'd be watching. And you just get that random text of, oh my gosh, talk to me, text me after you watch today.
Yes.
And now it's, I'll just talk to you this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did text her something the other day after I was editing. I was like, I'm texting you this now because I should have thought about this during the show. And if it happens this week, I want to be right.
I totally get that. I have one friend who watches and we send texts like that. Like, are you caught up? Because, you don't want to spoil in the moment. So it's always, where are you? Where are you? Because, you could be anywhere. Like I could be 3 days behind or completely caught up on any given week. Who knows? But yeah, we send those kind of messages like, what is going to happen?
Yeah. We've thought about the weeks that, because we talked about this with the week that I was actually out, the first week that I didn't do anything. And I was like, oh, we should do the recap where you're just telling me the week and I don't watch it, but we didn't do it that way. She and Ryan did it, which was good.
I loved it. Good. It was very good. It was fun.
That would be fun to do sometime is, if there's a week, but we can record over the weekend. There was just not going to be any time to record while I was away, period. So it was.
And you're going to want to watch it anyway. Right. After I tell you about it, you're going to go back and rewatch it. So,
but that's the thing is for you to tell me and then be like, wait, what are you talking about? And then go watch it and then fill you in on, by the way, you forgot to tell me about this. That'd be fun.
That would happen. Yes.
Oh gosh. And so obviously we are not going into spoilers, but what about predictions?
We love predictions.
Yeah. So the Nathan of it all. Is it Cesar's brain in Nathan's body? Is it Peter in Nathan? I don't think that's Nathan. Don't think that's Nathan. Not based on the look he and Britt gave each other.
Right. Yes, exactly. No, I didn't think about it being Faison.
His brain.
Could you imagine now Cesar is young and handsome again? And now he has a whole lifetime to wreak havoc again?
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
It would be creepy watching Nathan hit on Anna, though. I don't know how I feel like that.
Although I did think she just did say this week, I think, that they autopsied the brain, which I don't know if I had realized that. But
she followed it right up with, but if anyone could alter all of that, it would be him. So I'm like, okay, you just admitted he could be alive.
Yes. Oh, 100%. 100%. And the note with her drugs was signed -C. I mean, yeah, or it's Peter playing at Cesar. It's something, but it's definitely not Nathan.
So this is actually what I texted Amanda on Sunday. And I feel like this isn't a spoiler or anything because we haven't had the episode yet. What if Henry Dalton's first name really begins with a C and he just goes by Henry? Because then that would be who is doing all the drug research and all that stuff. And what if he is possibly C?
That would make a lot of sense.
I want it to be Faison, but what if?
Yeah. Or this guy Dalton could be a lot, not so much who he appears to be. There could be more to him. That's definitely a possibility. But
I have not thought about his brain being in Nathan, though.
We haven't seen Dalton see Nathan yet either. That will be an interesting interaction to, put some pieces together.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if they're going to turn Dalton into more of a character. Like, is he going to become a villain? Is he really the big bad behind everything? Or is he just, a pawn? I think he's more than that, though.
He's giving creepy involved vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he's definitely a bad guy.
We haven't seen him in a while, though.
No,
but I'm hoping they pick it back up soon and we get back into the school and everything. Although I found it interesting when Joss said she's thinking about graduating. Has she been in college? Has it been 4 years? Or do they SORAS University the way they do ages? But I guess.
We only know that because our kids were a year ahead.
Oh, how funny is that? Okay, good. Good to know that that's legit.
So my son graduated in May, and so Joss should be getting ready for graduation next year.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, good to know.
But I agree, it went way too quickly.
Doesn't it feel like it?
Well, she also didn't attend half of the time because she was at Easter Island or Australia or wherever.
True. She's out having her adventures, being a WSB agent, which I have so many mixed emotions about. I love the WSB storylines. I appreciate the spy storylines. I always think they're a lot of fun. Personally, I wish we would lean more into the spy and WSB of it all than the mob. I just get personally conflicted with some of the mob stuff sometimes, Even though it's fake, even though it's a soap opera, I still don't like the people I like shooting other people. You could argue that was not Jagger who came back. That John Cates was not the Jagger we knew from before by Amanda. I know you know this. But still, Sonny just shot him dead. That's right. It's murder. Even in my soaps, I find myself struggling to reconcile it morally, which I probably shouldn't have that much angst over my soap opera and my moral values. But anyway, it is why I tend to think lean into the spy, because then you can still have the action, the adventure, the threat of violence or mayhem, but it's a little bit more justified if you can.
Yeah. Because it's a dangerous situation. I'm not saying that Jagger threatening Sonny in the way that he did, but you're right. Jagger specifically was a very, Joss protected herself against Cyrus.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, Sonny just straight, or when they're under attack at the warehouse and Jason takes the guys out. Okay, yes. Jason's a great shot, so we know this,
Exactly.
But.
And he's also been Sonny's enforcer, especially back in the early days. That's what he was used for, was to do hits and things. And
yeah, I hear you.
It's not always my cup of tea. So I like that they're bringing the WSB back and making it more of a priority. And I really thought, you remember back when Brennan offered Jason a job, I still think Jason's going to end up in the WSB. And I go back to this because there was a comment that he made I can't remember now who it was, and he was upset about protecting Carly with Brennan. He said, and I can't because I don't know that world. I know this world, the mob world. I don't understand that spy world. I don't know how to protect her. So in the back of my mind, I keep thinking that maybe he will go in and take a job because it's the only way in his mind now he can get in that world to protect the people he loves from that world.
I like that.
It's a possibility.
Do you think he'll negotiate getting Joss out that way? I'll join if you release Joss, because
I think it's going to have something to do with that too. The fact that she's in there, although I don't know if Joss is going to want to leave.
Right. I think she likes it. She did join with a purpose. I don't agree that she was ready. I think Brennan totally took advantage of her, but she was already dealing with those feelings of Dex being gone and what she was going to do to kind of protect people moving forward.
Yeah. And she is someone who I could see, she has that strong, drive for social justice. Like, it seems like something they've written into the character, for a really long time. So for her to go into some type of law enforcement makes sense.
Right. She was always so against Sunny. So
yeah. Yeah. So for her to go into this avenue of law enforcement, it makes sense to me. So, but I could see Jason going in and wanting to protect her, work with her, maybe even do assignment, like, who knows? But I've always thought that there's still a chance he could end up in there. And that could be a way, because I feel like they've been wanting to pull him and Sunny out of the mob. They've been talking about getting out and Jens. I'm so confused about Jens. He's taking me on a roller coaster, which is very interesting. I still am, apologies for jumping like a little squirrely rabbit.
Right, because we never do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You listen to our show, you know how we go.
I'm like, oh, my people. I feel like Jens has a Cassadine connection, because it was too weird him bringing the knife to Alexis and bringing up the story of Natasha and her mother. I just feel like there's more Cassadine shenanigans coming down the pipe. I feel like he has some connection. Like Windermere, not just for the view where he could see where he firebombed Sunny's, although I think that was part of it.
Right.
I feel like there's something else there.
Maybe because there was another brother. I mean, we know that there was Stavros and Stefan, but there was another one, wasn't there?
I think so. Or who knows? They could just make one. We could. Yeah. There's always new brothers. New Cassadines coming, or cousins, or whomever. So it's certainly possible, and it could also even then maybe tie back, because they were talking about. Valentine kept saying this week about Cesar would have a partner. He'd have a partner. Who's his partner? So who is his partner right now? Maybe it's James. Maybe it's not Dawn. Who knows? But that
was your guess, Amanda. You said Sidwell on Sunday.
I did say Sidwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible. I think there's so much more to him than meets the eye, where you're just scratching the surface. And I love the way he played with Drew this week. So awesome. That was so awesome. I really, and the Drew, we have got to do something about Drew.
Seriously.
It's just, all right, fine. If he's just going to be the bad guy now, but why? Is it just because he had that incident, like when he went to prison and it was so traumatic?
No.
I feel like there's something else there, like whether it's the Shiloh theory or some kind of manipulation. Like, there's just something not right there. Like,
Drew and Jason were part of the brain mapping. What if there's something there? Oh, do you know who else I thought about? That Alex was partnered with Cesar for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
And so she was also part of the brain mapping. All the twins are just coming back to life. But
which is so fun. That's one of the beautiful things about what, the show and the history of the show is. I love that. That's one of the things that I gravitate to, is the history and the legacy of it. And when you can mine the past, although I get very frustrated when they mine the past for story points, but then change the past just to make it fit the future. I think you guys were just talking about this very recently. That's very frustrating to me. They either need to hire better researchers, or I know it's like you need someone to just sit there and watch the old episodes and tie it together and make sure that you're not like having a continuity error. Because those are frustrating.
What's your biggest frustration? Which one comes to mind when you think about that?
Oh, gosh. Some of the, I hate the way they rewrote some of Lucky's history. Like that recently was very frustrating to me. Ethan was someone who they did not explain that well. Like they could have gone in and had Luke met, they never went into it and explained it. Are we wait, no, she had a miscarriage. And then they just met up on the road somewhere while Luke and Laura were on the run and in hiding. And then he managed to have,
And she was falling in love with Robert at that time.
like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It just did not make sense. That one really bothered me.
Yeah.
Even to this day. I was listening. We were, I think it was on one of the 411s recently, because he's been in the 411s lately, going through Lucky. And every time I think about him, I'm like, where did you come from? Like, he just, like, I liked the character a lot. I thought he was a really interesting character,
Yeah.
And it is a cool idea to have the son of Luke and Holly and have like the best and worst of both of them. But yeah, his origin just didn't make sense.
It's bad enough that we have to explain Nicholas, because especially where Luke and Laura's wedding was such the event, and then to have Nicholas, and it's like, but that one you can kind of deal with. I mean, and Lucky too, but exactly. I mean, Luke died in the avalanche. We got Holly and Robert because of that.
Exactly.
And she would not have had that deep emotional if she had just like,
yeah. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, which is a shame. Ironically, I've been seeing a lot of Robert and Holly in the research I was doing on Blackie and Lou, because their storyline overlaps with, they start in 83, which is the year that Luke dies in the avalanche. So I actually just rewatched a bunch of that. Robert and Holly were so cute.
I think we just appreciate, we didn't know their story until Holly came back. When was that? In 2020 when she came back? Mm-hmm. And then we went and did Holly and Robert, or I think we just did Holly. I don't think we did Holly, but I mean, Holly's story is Holly and Robert.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we both were like, oh my gosh, I get it. Because we had only seen Holly in the early 2011s, whatever. And we were like, what the heck is when Ethan came?
Yeah.
And we're like, what is this? We don't get it. We don't understand why, why would Robert choose her over Anna? Oh, we got it when we went back and watched. Yeah.
Oh, they were so sweet together. So sweet together. The Ethan one is one of my biggest frustrations when they rewrite history. But
I mean, Amanda loves how they swapped out Emma and Joss.
Oh my gosh, it drives me insane.
Oh, that's a crazy one too, right?
She just says it all the time, like it's so natural. Oh, remember whenever you guys were chasing me around? No, they were not. That didn't happen. You were little. You weren't there.
Exactly. Yeah, the SORASing is another thing that can sometimes be frustrating, and I wish they would just take their time, because especially at this point at 60, we're like almost 65 years, like the kids will grow up. Like you don't have to rush it, like take your time, tell the good stories. Although I guess, again, going back to the money of it all, it can't be cheap to have child actors on set. If you think,
and there's such restrictions on them now too.
Exactly. It's not like back in the day where one of my other all-time favorite characters, Robin, literally grew up on the show. Like she was working full time practically. She was such a presence for so long. And back when Lucky was first on, and the original Emily, Amber Tamblyn, I'm a huge fan of hers. She's awesome. I don't know if you guys follow her, but I think she's fantastic. I love her voice and the way she uses it in her writings. But like they were young, but they could tell such great storylines. They didn't have to rush them up to teenagers, like I feel like they're so anxious to rush them up so they can start like having them in relationships, like slow it down. Slow it down. It's okay.
Right. I think you really fall in love with them in the early years, like the 12, 13, when they're starting to establish who they are, but they're still looking to their parents for guidance, and then to develop them into the teenagers where they know where they're coming from, why they're in these relationships, why they're standing for that. And instead it's just like one day you're 5, the next day you're 16. And it's like, no.
Exactly. And going on your first date and nervous about kissing a boy. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only one I feel like whose kids have aged somewhat naturally is Elizabeth's. I feel like her boys haven't been as egregiously SORAS as like Carly's kids.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they wanted Sunny and Carly to have adult children, like, or young adult children, because of the whole like mob storyline, right? Because then you had the mob princess with Christina, you had Michael getting, shot, and then he woke up a teenager, like 5 years old, right. 2 weeks later, and Morgan, was up because they wanted, I think, to be able to bring that element into the story. But I think sometimes they do a disservice by aging them up too quickly. I think they miss out on character development opportunities.
Mm-hmm. There are times, though, that they do a great job of forgetting the past. Like, we don't discuss the mob princess thing because that was just a really bad idea all around. And because I don't think they even, no. Christina did mention something about that recently.
She made a joke about it. It was hilarious.
It was quick, though. Like, it was, if you didn't know what they were talking about, Yeah,
it was something funny. Like, they were talking about mistakes she had made in the past, and she made some like, "Do you remember the mob princess?" And I laughed. I was like, "I do."
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Yeah, it was a rough one all around for sure. And that was a different Christina. And I feel like they sometimes, when they bring in a new actor or a cast replacement, they do that shift in personality as well to try to, I don't know. Mob Princess was kind of funny, though. It'd be interesting if they came back to do a special.
Right.
Where are they now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see. Half the people are dead.
Yeah, seriously.
How do you feel about recasts? How do you do with them?
Honestly, it depends. I think sometimes it's great. And it really depends, I think, on the legacy of the character. Like, there are some characters that I think cannot be recast. You cannot recast Laura, right? Nope. You cannot recast Anna or Felicia. But there are some characters who have so many connections and relationships that I would rather see them recast than the character to die or be written off. Like, part of me, I love Jonathan Jackson so much. And Greg Vaughn was decent. He was actually good. He wasn't my Lucky, but he was Lucky. And part of me wondered, like, would I rather have Lucky on screen, like a good actor playing Lucky, and have that character interacting, or just not have him at all because it can't be Jonathan Jackson? I actually go both ways, because, I mean, look at the Michael recast. He's phenomenal.
It is impressive.
He's really good. I like him a lot. And I think he didn't, like, they didn't change the character dramatically, but he brings a slightly different element, like almost like a gravitas to him.
He seems a little quieter, like more pensive.
Yes. But you can understand that. You can write that into the characterization, thinking this is a man who just was horribly burned. And I mean, they say the pain of like burns is like nothing. I still think we could see a pill addiction in Michael's future. Mm-hmm. I mean, following in his grandfather's footsteps, Yes. We do recycle storylines because they do happen, right? It's very common. Just saying that could happen sometime in the future.
But it would also be his father's footsteps because, I mean, AJ wasn't pills, but he was alcohol. It's addiction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of addiction in the family. So, and I mean, he certainly has probably is still taking painkillers because that's pretty painful stuff. So.
Yeah, we've never seen him like doing physical therapy or anything to deal with, or even him just doing emotional therapy, Yeah. Yeah.
So I think something's going to come out. And I mean, do you guys think he planted the gun?
Mm-mm.
I don't. No,
because he knows how to get rid of one. He would take it to Brick. He would straight take it to Sunny and have Sunny take care of it.
But you don't think he did it? He planted it because he wants Willow to go down?
No, I don't think he wants to hurt the kids that way.
Yeah. Okay, good.
What about you?
I'm wondering, I think Willow has lost it. I'm almost wondering if Willow did it and doesn't remember, or or somebody else could have planted it. I'm just not sure. I think Willow might have done and doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Someone to frame her? Who would want to frame her?
The only person I can think of to frame her would be Michael.
Yeah.
See, I think it would be more probable that Carly would frame her than Michael would frame her, because Carly oversteps in her protection of her children. But I don't think that that's what happened. I 100% think that Willow did it. She's just having some type of mental break. She does not remember, because it still doesn't explain why she came in soaking wet and Nina jumped to, oh, we were walking together. I was right there. Like, she knew something was up.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if it was Ronnie, after reading all of Monica's letters, knowing how much this was torturing her, that her now ex-granddaughter-in-law was like withdrew and like in this whole thing, like how much it was messing up the family, and she did it and then was going to frame Willow. And that was how she was going to get penance for whatever it was that she did to Monica. And like, that's how she was trying to help Monica.
How'd she get the gun?
She snuck in. She said that she had been using the GPS to get to that property.
It's possible. I don't know how likely, but anything is possible. I think Ronnie, Ronnie, I love this actress. She's so great. I dipped in and out of One Life to Live for years, so I know who she is, and she's so talented, like you were saying, Amanda. Like, so I hope they keep her on long term. Although I do not think they want to collect her that house. But I think eventually that's going to come out, but she'll have ingratiated herself. I think she really is her sister.
Or did Monica leave her the house as payment for doing this?
Oh, okay. But then Monica would have had to send her the gun. That's the only way I would believe that.
Or she told her where to get it. Or we haven't seen Yuri. What if Yuri put it somewhere where it would be easy for her to be able to get?
Don't put this on Yuri. He's so innocent and just loves everyone.
Why have we not seen him grieving Monica seriously? Because he loved her.
He did love her.
I know that is.
But no. But what if Monica reached out to, she knows people, and she knows people that would do things for her without thinking twice. She would never ask Jason to. Never.
No.
But she would definitely have talked to somebody. What if she talked to Robert and then somehow they tie that in?
Oh,
that would be cute.
Oh, Robert.
I am not going to be okay with. I'm not going to be. We all know this.
But I know. It's so sad. It's so hard. You get so attached. It's unbelievable to these characters and these stories that I remember when Jackie Zeman passed. I genuinely I was like, oh my God, my Aunt Bobby died.
Yeah.
And I was surprised almost that I had that reaction, but that I was like, you feel like so connected. It's unbelievable.
Especially when we didn't know that she was sick. Like, I could see it on her nurse's ball. You're like, okay, she's getting older, and we noticed the physical difference with Robert, and we knew that Leslie was sick. We knew that she wasn't okay for years. So like when she passed, it was heartbreaking, but you're like, oh, she's at peace. She's not in pain anymore. But for Jackie and, Tristan to just go, we didn't even know about Jackie until after, and Tristan was almost a month to the day.
I know. It was awful.
It was just like, we just got time to process this. And we're like, okay, because John J. York, how's he doing? Because he just took that time off to go through cancer treatment and is okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all thought, okay, Tristan's just going to go do that now, and he'll be back for Daisy's first birthday and everything. But for his last scenes to be with her, though, oh my God.
It was great. At least I am so glad we got those final scenes. That is really nice. Like, that feels like a gift to the fans, for sure. And do either of you guys ever watch Maurice Benard's State of Mind?
Sometimes.
On YouTube. He, after Tristan's passing, he re-released his recording with Tristan that he had done. And it was a really good one. I encourage you to look it up if you get a chance. And Maurice he kicked it off saying, like, we talk a lot about this is a show about mental health, but today we're not going to talk a lot about mental health, because today we're just going to have fun, because I brought you a storyteller. And he brought Tristan on, and he just started telling these stories of like him getting his start back in the day in Australia, and actually his big job where he was really successful in his young days early in the UK in London was DJing. And he was setting up musical acts at this club, and he was there to set up a night for Elton John and Kiki D to do their first performance of Don't Go Breaking My Heart. He was there live, like, to set it up. It was like hauling, like, just really interesting, like telling stories about his life. Dated Elizabeth Taylor for a little while back in the day, because Maurice asked her, like, oh, when you met Liz, did you talk to her about this? He's like, what, you mean when we were going out? And he's like, what, you dated her too? And he was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, really fun, interesting.
See, that's what upsets us about it. It's so difficult to get in touch with them too, because one of the things is we never even, and also I get in my head too much. So, but like, we never even asked, we never got the opportunity to talk to him. And I mean, but when you said that, like, Elton John and Kiki D, my first thought was Emma and Ned sang that song at the nurses' ball. Like, what a crazy, and there's General Hospital probably didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, unless it was a story he told and it's there in the vault, so it's a song that they keep or use. Who knows? Yeah, that was a good one, Emma. I'm going to take
back Robert, though, because I don't think he would intentionally kill someone. Because Drew was being a jerk and he was frustrating and hurting the family. But I think that Robert wouldn't assist in murdering somebody. Unless Drew was a physical violent.
Yes.
So, okay, I will retract that Robert helped get the gun.
Yeah.
Unless we find out that he knew that he was dying.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all right, might as well.
Yeah. No. So yeah, he's one you can't recast.
No.
I think really it has to do with if an actor has played a character long enough that they're just synonymous. Like, there's just some you just can't. I do, like you just mentioned, Emma. I'm really starting to warm up to the new Emma. Mm-hmm. Enjoying her and Gio. I think I like that they're kind of taking their time and taking it slow. I feel like sometimes soaps are so keen to get characters together that they rush it. And I prefer the romantic in me likes them to take their time. Let it be sweet and romantic. Let them really build up a good friendship and have, some shared history before they start diving into the big relationship, and then it becomes all consuming about that. So I'm happy with where they're going with them too. For now, we'll see what happens.
It feels like the old school, like you were just talking about, like the younger relationships. It's like, yes, they are teenagers, and we've all been teenagers. Not all teenagers have sex.
Exactly.
Some of them just kiss. Some of them can just hold hands and go to the movies, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everything is about who you're betting.
Exactly. So I think this is going to be a good long-term relationship. I'm excited to see them do that. And speaking of couples, one other couple that I am so happy with these last couple of years is Chase and Brooklyn. I think Chase is like the best soap husband in history.
Do you follow him on real life, though, like on social and stuff? Because he seems like just a great husband in general. So I think it's easy to like translate that. And you're like, oh my gosh, but you're like this in real life too.
Yeah, he's great. I love the way they write him, and Brooklyn. Like, they're skipping, like there have been so many times in their relationship where I was like, oh, here comes the soap trope, right? Like, oh, they really want a baby. She can't get pregnant. Oh, she's going to fake a pregnancy. She's going to lie, or try to steal a baby. No, she just told him the truth. She didn't keep big secrets, like the women are always keeping these secrets, about their fertility, it feels like in soaps. But the fact that they just have open, honest conversations, sometimes get frustrated with each other, but talk it out. I just love it. It feels, and I know soaps, we want some of that heightened reality, right? Because that's why we go there. Like you say, Amanda, it's like my self-care is an hour a day in Port Charles, right? Like that is very true. And I want that to be escapism from my regular life.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's nice to just see a happy couple.
Like a healthy relationship.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
think of how much reality TV is out there now too. And like it used to be that the soaps were the trash, right? Like that was the slapping everyone, in Dynasty, like the nighttime soaps too. Now it's just 24/7. So it's like, yeah, we do need the balance of normalcy.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Like, I love the adventures. I love that Cesar's brain's in a jar and it might be transplanted. Like, don't get me wrong. Or, when the Cassidides tried to freeze the world, I thought that was the coolest thing ever, but it is still nice to have that a little bit of normalcy. And I love them for that.
I agree. They're a great couple. Speaking of pregnancy, how do you feel about Portia?
Yeah, I'm not going to relitigate what you guys did the last recap. Agreed with pretty much everything you said. It's very much a soap trope, right? Slept with two men right in the same time frame. I really thought that they were going to do that with Willow. Because do you remember she slept with Drew and Michael within the same day of each other?
Yeah.
So I thought that's where they were going with that. But yeah, no, it just doesn't work for me. I'm not loving it. I feel like Portia I don't feel like they do her character justice. And I don't think they give the actress enough to work with. And it makes me very frustrated for her and by her. Frustrated for the actress and frustrated by the character. And especially all this, everything is just protect my daughter from Trina. I'd just love to see her get a little bit more character development, right? And she's just very two-dimensional to me, Portia as a character. There's just not much to her. Maybe this will change things. Maybe this will make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe this will give Isaiah something to do. I feel like they haven't known what to do with him. Right. Came on scene and such so much potential with that character that they're just they haven't figured it out. I think they could easily solve it by shifting some attention back towards the hospital. We're getting away from the hospital, from medical stories, bring in some more of those that make it interesting, going back to the research I was doing and going back and watching episodes from the 80s, the hospital was the foundation, right?
Yeah.
That was the foundation of the show. Everything came back to the hospital. The majority of the characters worked in the hospital, probably more than the majority, whereas now it's the minority, I would say, probably work in the hospital. So if they brought that in, that would also give them, I think, a chance to give Portia a little bit more to do and bring Terry in more. Love that character. And let's see the hospital take center stage a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, give him, because he was international, going in and out of all these war conflict areas and everything. I feel like he should also have some kind of PTSD. And I know that not everyone does, but he has definitely seen some things that most people probably haven't.
Exactly.
And especially where Lucky is gone now, because it feels like they had such a connection that it's they were the right hand and left hand. Well, now what's he going to do without, his counterpart? Even though Lucky wasn't medical, they still facilitated a lot of things together. And now it's his one tie to Port Charles is gone. And now it's okay, so what? We just have to put him in bed with Portia.
And give him a baby to give him a reason to stay.
Right.
Or maybe baby, right? Because who knows? Maybe it's Curtis's, which, and it's just, I'm sorry, it's not realistic. I'm sorry. She's my age. She's not having a baby. It's not happening. But, what are you going to say? We'll see.
Yeah.
They never did tell us what his big trauma was, right? Whenever he wouldn't operate on Lulu, it was just something had happened in the past.
Right. Yeah.
So, was it an operation that went badly? Or a bad outcome?
But he didn't get into that.
Yeah.
That was all they said.
Okay. Yeah, so they could bring some of that back too, tell that story.
Right. It really shouldn't be that he did one surgery, it worked out well, and so now he has no more anxiety whatsoever when it comes
Exactly.
to performing surgery. So
That's not how
And it seems
anxiety
like
works.
he's hanging out in the ER with Willow all the time. But isn't he a transplant surgeon? Like, so
Right.
why isn't he doing
Right.
transplants?
Right.
Like, it's it doesn't always make sense, but I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes.
And we never have Joss checking on her stuff because I always liked how they keep Maxie checking on her
Yes.
Well, I mean, and now it's come even more forefront, but we always saw her going to the doctor and getting checked up and the reason why. But we've never seen Joss
No.
treating at all.
No. It's like you'd never think she had one.
Is Isaiah old enough to have done the no?
Oh, the Jake? No.
Yeah.
good, but no.
He's not old enough.
I think he's old enough, but at the same time, I don't think it's realistic because it would, if it had stayed Jake, then it would have been interesting, but it wasn't. It was Mel.
Yeah.
Because that would have been messed up if he had been the one that Helena got to to take the kidney out of and then found out to be like his new BFF. Oh, but I don't want Jake to die. I'm happy with how that all happened. You know.
No. I think subs are way too quick to kill off characters. Way too quick and I think I'm assuming it's a desire to get an emotional reaction, to have an emotional scene, to give, everybody gets their big death scenes and that's very emotional and, but then we lose the character. Like we've killed off so many good characters over the years. Sometimes I think a death can serve a story. And sometimes a tragic death can definitely serve a story. Like BJ's heart. That there's a reason we still talk about that storyline. Why the actors, why the show still talks about that storyline. But when you try to replicate it over and over, it stops losing its meaning. It stops being powerful, I think.
Right. Like Stone had to die.
Yes.
But the way that and I truly do think that if real life had not advanced the way that it had, that Robin would not have just been the miracle one. I think that they would have had her following whatever was happening in the real world. And the way that they've worked with that for 30 years now.
So much respect. So much respect. And that's why no matter, even if sometimes I do get frustrated because the stories don't go the way I want, at the end of the day, I'm still here with tremendous respect for the show because they do a lot of things that I do really like. And that is one storyline they got so right. I mean, that was phenomenal. Yeah, that was a really big one. I remember that very much. Yeah.
I was upset that they brought Nathan back because he had they gave him such a great funeral. And I'm like, but no, they gave him a proper military or police funeral.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want him to be alive just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. They really need to come through on the story for it to be worth it. And I'm hopeful. It definitely feels like there's a lot of threads that I think you were saying before, Shannon, about connecting them together. Like, the Cesar, Faison, the Britt, the Nathan, the Sidwell. If they get it right, Dalton, they could put it together and make a really cool story. So just have to be patient and remain.
And you threw in the Cassadine, so we got to loop them in there too somewhere.
You know what? Everything is more fun when Cassadines are involved. I love Cassadine shenanigans. I find them incredibly entertaining. And I wish Helena had had a daughter that could follow in her footsteps. I sometimes wonder if maybe Charlotte could turn into that. Maybe Charlotte's not destined.
Oh.
She did have those tarot cards.
Yeah.
Right. And we never went anywhere with those.
Helena was trying to influence her,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And I am just starting to come around on New Lulu. I think they're finally starting to write her slightly like she used to be, like the Lulu I knew and loved. I loved that character, even though they SORAS'd her way too much. I still loved her character. I loved everything about the Julie Berman, especially. Riley was great too, but that character was just so spunky. Like she really seemed to me like Luke and Laura's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? But since she came back, like, I don't know who this is. But just in the last week or so, it feels like she's starting to correct course a little bit. So I'm hopeful.
I feel like that's been a universal feedback. So perhaps they're like, okay, we did a bad thing. We need to at least, like you said, like it's one thing because you have to also, you don't always have to change the character so drastically, but you do have to fit the actress too. But I don't know. I feel like they did not give her a fair shot because straight out the gate, we're all like, what the heck did you do?
Yeah.
So it's going to be great for the actress if they change it. And then we're going to be like, okay, so it was just the writing. It wasn't you. Because right now, people probably are blaming her instead of
just
the writing.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we do reality check because
I could totally see that.
Yeah. So do we want to get into Blackie and Lou?
Yeah. Are you ready to hear about them?
I'm so excited.
All right. So we really need to get back to more fan spotlights.
It was so much fun. I know it sounds like, oh, just boost our ego, but hearing the love that people have for hearing us talk about GH, it's such a good family. I love it. It makes me happy that you pushed us to do this and it lasted more than 6 months like I thought it was going to.
You're welcome. I do. I love it though. And I know that we don't communicate through emails, but I feel like even just through that, you get a good sense of who someone is. And I love meeting these people face to face on Zoom and getting to hear more about it. I just love how everyone has such a different story. I know that's one thing that connected us, but it's like anything else. And, we talk about it, like the way that you watch something is through the lens of your experiences and everything. But just to hear a story that was 10 years before we started watching, is right. It was just so cool.
And the fact that General Hospital is everybody's safe space. Like she talked about going through a difficult time after she had been away from the show for a while, and you could just start watching. And although she didn't understand some of what was going on, there were still those main characters that you have that connection with, that it's like, yeah, I just needed a piece of my childhood or a piece of sitting next to my grandma or sitting there with my mom or whatever. It brings you right back to all of that.
It does. It really, really does. So yeah, guys, if you want to be a fan spotlight, we would love to meet you. There is a form on our website, generalhospitalpodcast.com. There is a form for the fan spotlight. Fill it out. We'll schedule a time. We're pretty flexible, during the day, during the evening. That's what the definition of flexible is. So I'm not going to go through what time is for you guys, but we can figure it out. We've done 13-hour time difference before when we spoke with Lydia Look. Yeah, please write in. And if you have a 411 that you want to share with us, we would absolutely love to hear it. And next week, we will be releasing the story of Blackie and Lou. But in the meantime, listen to us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the Pier. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.